Curtis, you start, please.
Coach, I guess first, just your overall thoughts on the day as it went, the atmosphere, the environment, and then what you saw from the guys.
Yeah, I thought the environment was great. I thought, it was a great crowd because we, with the students being out on break, we didn't really know what type of crowd we would have. But we walked in and we were all really surprised and, in a good way. I thought, you do these things to try to, evaluate, get a look at guys at different positions, guys getting the opportunity to compete against each other. I mean, really, this is the only, day that they'll get in front of the public to compete against each other. And then everything else will obviously be against another opponent. Some really good things happened for sure, some things that we need to correct for sure. But yeah, I thought what we accomplished. Nobody got injured. We have a lot of video that we can now watch and go back on and evaluate. And, some guys play better in games. Some guys play better in practice. And so this is just another, it's our fifth participation where we had competition with referees that was public. So it's 1/5 of the piece of the puzzle.
To go off of what you just said about guys playing a little bit different in practice or maybe overseas, where does Jalen Graham fall on that spectrum, and just what do you see from him today? Obviously a strong performance.
Well, the thing with Jalen Graham is you're talking about an all Pac-12 all conference player in a Power 5 league. He played today much like some of the, the video evals where he was really great spin dribble drive guy, a guy that you could isolate. We have felt for quite some time that he shot the three pretty well in practice. Not that we want him shooting it all the time, but, I do think he can keep the defense a little bit honest. At times, we would like him to rebound the ball a little bit more. But he is a really good passer and a really willing passer. Once he gets the ball and kind of the defense kind of gets congested, he does a really good job of finding people. So for sure, this was good for his teammates to see him play well. And I think this is good for his confidence as well.
Eric, just curious what you thought about Nick and Trevin kind of leading the white team. I think they got down by like as many as 17, but kind of made it a game late.
Yeah, I thought that they both did a good job of continuing to compete. One of the things that we always talk about is competing and playing until the end of the game, regardless of winning or losing. Even if we're winning by a large margin, it's how do you continue to play for the full, game. And we played with the 24-second shot clock at times, and then we took it away and played with the normal shot clock. But some really good things out of both those players. I thought that TB struggled a little in the first half, and then played a better second half for sure.
And then AB, 9 rebounds, 9 assists, 3 blocks, and a steal. About what you expected, maybe.
Yeah, I mean he's in my opinion, I have no idea how it'll play out, but I've never had a team, every team kind of takes on its own identity with its personnel, and based on, again, a limited amount of time, what I can say is we're really, really good at blocking shots from the perimeter. AB does a great job of it. I think that Brazil's going to block perimeter jump shots regardless of what position he plays. Council is really, really good. Ricky is at blocking perimeter jump shots. So, again, it's kind of wacky how, last year we lead the nation in taking charges because we had a player in Jalen Williams that loved to take charges and had perfected the craft of doing that. And this year we do have some guys like AB that are really, really incredibly gifted at blocking shots from the perimeter.
Seems like you tried to split the teams up pretty evenly, but were there any pairings or guys that you wanted to make a point to get together and have some matchups play out on the court?
Not really. I mean, we tried to, make it as even as possible and then try to figure out, how the bigs, I think the most problematic thing was just how are we going to do our bigs rotation. And then, Devo, precautionary today. I didn't know really until right before that he was not going to play. Obviously, we put out the teams, and he's just got a little bit of discomfort that's not of a concern of anybody. But there was no reason to haven't played today.
Was it an ankle with Devo?
It's a knee, but there's no medical concern.
Okay, well, that's good. Getting back to Jalen, I know those Europe games, they don't count the standings and all that, but he didn't do much of anything over there. What did you think of how he performed over there? Did you have any cause for concern? And what do you think at him? Has he been better since then, and is this more reflective, of what you expect?
Yeah, I think his practices pre foreign tour and foreign tour, were kind of indicative of what it was, and then all of a sudden, since we came back, I think some of the guys, which is only human nature, some of the guys that played maybe better than even they had hoped, maybe their practice habits have slipped slightly, and then I think maybe some guys that wanted to play a little bit better on the foreign tour have kind of upped their practice intensity. So, I think that's just human nature, because sometimes you tend to relax when you play well, and sometimes you get a little bit more grit to yourself when you don't have the role that you anticipated or don't play well.
No, it's just a red-white game. It's combined 7 of 31 3-point shooting. What are your thoughts on that?
It's not going to change. We're not a great 3-point shooting team. We're not a good 3-point shooting team, and I would love to tell you that that we're going to knock those down, but there's too much of a body of work. Way too much of a body of work right now that we struggle from behind the 3-point line.
Did you like the intensity and the tempo of the game today?
Yeah, that was kind of why we played with the 24-second clock for a little bit of the game. Was we wanted to play with great pace. I was pretty pleased with the pace. Can we get better? Absolutely. But I thought off free throws, our free throw attack game was pretty good. I thought our transition off misses was good. And then just with any teams, right now we got to get better in some areas too, which this will give us some more film to watch.
Eric, what did you think of the Twins today? I think, Mikhail, 8, 5, and 4 assists on the interior is pretty good for a big guy. Do you think just matching them up against each other maybe brought out some of the best in them?
Yeah, we didn't want to play in together on the same team, but if you look at our big shooting, which I haven't had time to study it, but Graham goes 10 of 11, and you look at Mackay, he goes 3 for 4, right? And then you look at Mikkel, he goes 4 for 4, all right? And Kamani goes 3 for 6. So I'm not real good in math, but that's a really good offensive percentage. But on the flip side, those guys were all guarding each other too. So, really good offensive productivity, but defensively, none of them guard. So it's problematic from a defensive standpoint when we see these numbers.
You said earlier in the week you were wanting to see how those guys maybe handled today. Are there any takeaways among those 4 bigs?
No, I thought pre-game in the locker room they were loose, they had fun. I didn't sense any nerves. I actually sensed more nerves on the foreign tour, so I was pleased with the whole group, not just anybody in particular, but I think all of our bigs need to continue to work on their conditioning as well. That's probably a big thing between now and the first game.
I think 14-9 assist to turnovers for both teams today. I know turnovers were a concern in Europe. You didn't have Devo's, probably your most experienced ball handler today. How'd you feel the team took care of the ball, shared it today?
Yeah, that's been a big point of emphasis. And, when I talk about the 3-point shooting, when you watch, hundreds and thousands of shots go up every day, it is what it is. But I do think we will take better care of the basketball than what we saw on the foreign tour. We certainly did today. And I think we can be a good defensive team. So I thought we kind of pressured a lot defensively, and so I was really pleased with how he took care of the basketball and handled the ball.
Eric, the AP poll comes out tomorrow. You guys are probably going to be ranked pretty high. What are your thoughts on that?
Not much. doesn't really mean anything. I don't think. I mean, it's good for the fans. It's good for media. But I don't know if.
Is that something? Obviously, puts a target on your back to start the year. Is that
We already have a target on our back.
Do I?
We already have a target on our back. So I mean, I would love to say that whatever the polls say, making 2 Elite Eights back to back. I think that, and that's something that we haven't talked to our team much about, but we will start to as we start creeping closer and closer to games, because teams are going to get. Although we only have 2 returners, and two guys that were off and on starters, just having Arkansas across the front of our jerseys puts a little bit different dynamics right now when we play against people, and I think our guys have to understand the responsibility that comes with that, because when you're on the other end, and a lot of teams sometimes overlook people, and then you could sneak some wins. We're not going to be able to do that at all.
It's obviously not your recruiting because you lose all 5 starters, and then you're going to be ranked, probably 7th, 8th, 6th, somewhere in there. What do you think? I mean, the perception of the program obviously is very positive.
Yeah, like I said, I mean, I just want to keep getting better, Bob. I know you're going to keep. You're going to. I don't know what to say. I mean, honestly, maybe Danielle will be happy with the polls.
Okay, I'll call her for a quote.
There you go. That's
Okay.
perfect.
And then Nick, obviously, no surprise, he had a good scoring game and did some good things. What did you think of Nick's game?
Yeah, I mean, he just, it's almost like he's on skates. He's kind of, he's fun to watch. He's cosmetically pleasing with how he moves, and he's got great command with the ball. He can shoot. He is a guy that will make threes for us and make big shots for us, and he'll continue to work on some of his off-ball defensive principles that we're doing. But he's so gifted, and he can. Today he played mostly the point guard position, and Anthony played the point at the other for the other team, and I thought both of them did a really good job. And everybody in this room right now can tell that they're completely different players, but I think they'll really complement each other once we go from a inter squad game to combining the group. And
Joseph, he had a pretty good game. What did you think of his play?
Yeah, I mean, Joseph is he can shoot the ball. He does stretch the defense out. His thing is just going to be defensively. Continue to try to get better defensively and continue to work on being, a guy that can get loose balls. But defensively, I think, we're a no-middle team, and he's got to really work to try to keep that ball in front of him. But he does open up space, and I give him a lot of credit. He has not had many bad practices. He practices and he competes, and, he does, like I said, he's got the ability to stretch the defense out a little bit because he is a perimeter threat.
Yeah, just going back to AB for a second, almost had a double-double factoring out points. Like, how unique is he at that guard spot?
He's really unique. I mean, there's not many players in college basketball like Anthony because, there's probably not going to be many point guards that are better rebounders. There's probably not going to be many point guards that are going to block as many shots as he does from the perimeter. His assist total, because he thrives off passing the ball, so he's going to be one of the assist leaders in the country. So he's just unique. He's not like a normal point guard, because you're talking about a 6'8", point guard. Who's a really willing passer, and you can go look over the last several years. There's not a lot of college basketball players that can do what he can do. Thanks, everybody. Thanks, Eric.
And you feel like today maybe helped with a little bit of the separation Eric was talking about, a little bit of a battle with the bigs. Do you think that today helped you at all?
What got me going early was, just running the floor, just trying to, score off the start with easy twos, running the floor, running hard, and then I just want to compete. I felt like I had something to show coming into this game, for my teammates and for the coaching staff, just show everybody that I'm here that I want to be here and I want to play hard, and be out there. So yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
For AB, 4 points today, but 9 rebounds, 9 assists, 3 blocks, a steal. Just can you talk about your performance and just the way you impact the game outside of the points column?
Yeah. So we have a lot of talented players. So we have a lot of dudes who can score the ball. So my game is really just taking what the defense gives me and trying to make plays for my team, just winning plays. And then on defense, just rebounding, blocking shots, guarding the ball, just doing all the stuff that impacts winning. Because I know we have good enough teammates that if I have an off night, like shooting, I know my teammates got me. So I just got to do what I could do to impact winning.
And then, Jalen, what's it like playing with a point guard with that type of skill set, the size that he has, kind of a unique player?
Yeah, it's great. Coming from ASU, this is a big difference, with a big guard that can, pass, facilitate, and, play defense and help rebound. It's a big help, playing with someone like him that's not selfish and, wants to help his teammates get better. And, he's going to get his. We know he's going to get his throughout the season, so no one's worried about that. And, yeah, pretty much that's it.
Jalen, I know that those European games, that's just a really, really small slice of getting ready for the season, but you didn't have a real good tour, statistically anyway. How'd you feel about that, and has that been a motivating factor for you? Eric talked about some players raising their level intensity in practice since the tour.
Yeah, that just was a realization factor for me. Nothing comes easy, especially here at playing in the SEC, and that was Coach Muss letting me know what it's going to be. If I don't step up and play hard. So when I came back from the European tour, I was just trying to focus, and I knew when I got a chance in the game, I had to make the best of it, and that's what I'm doing.
This is a red-white game. You're obviously not playing Kentucky or Alabama or whoever. But how satisfying is it? I think you were 10 of 11, and you scored in a lot of different ways, got to the free throw line. Just how satisfying was it to have a game like this when it's your first time in front of the Arkansas fans?
Yeah, transferring is a big difference. It's hard sometimes, and just to come out there and compete hard and finally show everybody what I can do. Even though it's a red and white game, and there's could be a lot harder competition and stuff like that. I just wanted to prove something today, and just play hard and just show my teammates what I can do. So.
And the Associated Press top 25 polls coming out tomorrow. There's a lot of polls, but that's kind of the big one. And Arkansas, I'm sure, is going to be in the top 10. Well, what are your all's thoughts on that? Probably starting the season as a top 10 team in the AP poll.
That to me that means nothing. We still got to come out here. We got to compete, and we got to show everybody we're a top 10 team. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
I'll say our goal really is to be a top 5 team. So I think starting at 10 around that's a pretty good starting point for us, considering we got a whole lot of new players. So I think that's a good position for us, and it keeps us kind of neutral where we have a lot to work for. So it's not too high to where we're on the top, and it's not too low to where we're at the bottom. So we have a lot to work for, and I think it's a decent start for us.
I think earlier Bob said that you guys were about to have a target on your back when that AP poll comes out. Eric responded to that saying you guys already have a target on your back. Does the team kind of sense that already? There's kind of like an urgency with the guys?
Yeah, I feel like we know. We had a pretty strong recruiting class and transfer class as well. We have a lot of talented players, so we know there's going to be a lot of people trying to prove that they're better than us individually and as a team. So yeah, we pretty much know that target's going to be on our back regardless where we're ranked on the poll.
Obviously, both of you guys are newcomers on the team, and there's a lot of you. Does it help that there's so many other guys on the team that are also trying to kind of find their way and find a good mesh with their teammates?
All right, yes, it helps just because everybody wants to compete. Everybody wants to play. No one knows that they're going to play. Everybody's new, so in practice, everybody's trying to compete, and that just helps the team get better every day. When you have 5 bigs that are transfers or 4 bigs that are transfers and one that's just been there, it's hard. You don't know what's going to happen. So we're just competing and for every spot and every opportunity.
And then I guess both teams today were 14-9 assist to turnover ratio. I know turnovers was a big talking point after Europe. I know it's been a heavy area of emphasis. What strides have you guys made in that regard, and then how do you feel like you took care of it and shared it today?
I say we're getting better, but we're still not really where we want to be. I feel like you said we had 9 turnovers.
9, yeah, each team.
Oh, 9 for both teams had 9?
14-9.
Okay, yeah. I mean, that's not bad, but I feel like we could do a lot better. Just in practice, we're just nailing on making smarter plays and not trying to force it. Just working for open shots, so we're not turning the ball over. But, I mean, we're getting better. I think we might have been negative in Europe or something like that. Definitely negative. I think we had a 30 turnover game. 30? Yeah, so, I mean, I think – Nah, that was us. That was us. But, yeah, I think 9's our goal, actually. 9's our goal for the game, so we did satisfactory today. So we're just going to keep trying to cut that down.
AB, you had almost a double-double today, taking points out of the equation. I think Eric was most impressed with the blocks. Several of them, I think, came out on the perimeter. Have you always had kind of a knack for that, just given your size and I guess your length too? And Jalen, what do you think of that? Just his ability to alter shots on the perimeter at a guard spot.
I mean, I wouldn't say it's really a knack. I just take pride in defense and not getting scored on. So I'm gonna try to challenge every shot I can and affect every shot. I know I'm not gonna block it every time, but if I can get a hand up and challenge, I know it's gonna affect the shooter. So I just take pride on defense, really.
I mean, AB's a special talent, especially on offense and defense. To have someone his size playing guard and that can do stuff like this, block shots and run and orchestrate fast breaks and everything, orchestrate the team. It's just crazy to play with. I played with some very good point guards, and AB's up there for sure. Just how he just facilitates and just is able to move the ball and just plays hard on defense. So yeah, just special.
What have you seen from Jalen in practice since you guys got back from Europe, and what you think of his game today, and what do you think that maybe that does for him and for the team?
Well, when Jalen plays like he did today, it helps us a lot because, like Coach said, we're still trying to. There's a battle between the 5 bigs. Like, just keeping 100. Like, there's 5 bigs. He doesn't like to play 5 bigs, so we're still trying to see. We're still trying to see who's gonna emerge and kind of give us a spark. So what he did today, like, it helped us as a team, and I mean, it helped the red team. Like, his 25 points, we needed all that. Could have had more rebounds, but he was doing his thing on offense, and we needed that. And then in practice, he's picking it up since the Europe trip. I think, like he said, it kind of woke him up and showed him like he was obviously really good at Arizona State, but we have 5 pretty good bigs, so like he's gonna have to keep picking it up and keep playing like he did today. He's on a good track.
What do you guys think of playing in Barnhill? Eric was saying the students are on break, and so wasn't sure how many people be here, but I think it was over 5,000, and nice day, a lot of stuff to do outside if you wanted to do that. What do you think of the crowd just playing in a classic old gym like this?
I mean, it was a good turnout considering most of the students are home. So just seeing the support and people coming out to Barnhill, it was special energy for a game like this on a weekend where not a lot of people are here. So yeah, it was definitely a good turnout.
Yeah, I was surprised for sure. I didn't know what I was coming into. I'd never seen Barnhill before this, so walking into the arena, I was like, wow, this is a big crowd. There's a lot of people here, and that's always exciting. I love the fans, and it was a great. It was just great.
All right, guys. Appreciate your time.
Thank y'all.